Thanks for staying with us. According to reports, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the nation's military high command to convert their vast expanse of land across the country into an agricultural hub as part of efforts to address the growing food shortage and insecurity in our country. Joining us to shed more light on this is the Chairman House Committee on Defense, Honourable Babajimi Benson. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Good morning, panelists.
Yes. So the very first question that came to mind when I saw this report is, how much land are we really talking about? I mean, asking for the military base to convert their land. I mean, is it not that enormous for the president to actually have them to convert it?
Yes, the military has vast lands, unutilized lands all over the length and breadth of Nigeria. Don't forget that the military also have, the armed forces also have various agencies that works for them, i.e. DICON. We all know DICON, Defense Industries of Nigeria. They have vast lands. The NDA has vast lands. NAFRIC is domiciled in Lagos. You need to go and see what they're doing with their agri department. The governor of Lagos State also graciously granted them land for expansion recently. As a matter of fact, the armed forces already have, the Nigerian Army has a farm. It's called Farms and Ranches. It was set up in 2018 by General Buratai. Fortunately, the first MD of that company is the President Chief of Defense Staff. So it's a really good step in the right direction. We have vast forests in Nigeria, Sambisa Forest, a lot of forests in Akure, Idore, and Co. So if Mr. President gives the armed forces the marching order, it's in line with his constitutional role. The president can ask the armed forces, the major function of the armed forces is to defend the territorial integrity of Nigeria and also to carry out any assignments given to them by Mr. President.
All right. So, Honourable Benson, this is interesting. Well, when I saw the news, I was already imagining that at some point we'll have market days where soldiers come into the market and display their wares. You know, people can buy for very affordable. It sounded more like a movie to me, and I'm really looking forward to it. But I'm worried that, or it's more like a question. Do you think we have enough manpower in the army to be able to have people who will be manning the farms? If we take, you know, considering the fact that we need more people into the military that would help us with security, do we have enough people to also handle farms?
The Nigerian Armed Forces are very, very nimble, technological savvy. So there are various arrangements that can come into play. Nowadays, people even do farming with drones and gadgets like that. Aside from that, they can go into partnership with states, with private sector players. But the most important thing is for the arrangement to see that the armed forces are available and they have a stake in it. You know, when the armed forces are in a place, there's a corresponding fear on the evildoers to stay away. So various arrangements can come into this to ensure that there's efficiency and that the global idea that Mr. President is fostering sees the light of the day.
Okay, so when you talked about partnership and private sector, and then you mentioned that some of the places, like maybe the Sambisa Forest, you know, where they've been unrest. Do you think like the private sector will want to venture into places like this, like the Sambisa Forest, for example, or places that they've been unrest? You know, because...
Yes. So that's why I said there will be various arrangements. You know, so there will be mapping. There will be some that will be solely for the armed forces to farming. There will be some where relatively safe, where private sector people can be welcomed. There will be some where states, for instance, some forest reserves have been assigned to states where the states would say, okay, armed forces, please join us in doing this together. You know, so various arrangements, various strategies will be used to map out which arrangement best suits a particular area.
Okay, Honourable Jimmy Benson, this is not the first time I'm seeing, you know, this kind of things happening. I schooled in the Ojo barracks, and I see the wives of the soldiers farming. Most of the lands are used like that. But even at the Ojo barracks now, you see incursion into the barracks space. We used to brag that it was the largest cantonment in West Africa. But you see incursion into that space. I'm wondering, how is this going to happen, where people don't come and get farmlands and in the future claim it's their family land, sell it to total strangers, and we have the kind of disputes that we are settling right now that I see commonly settled in Ojo?
Yes, like I said, Mr. President has given them a marching order to farm. So that marching order is a presidential directive. Like you rightly said, the Ojo area where you see people farm, the vegetables there, yes, I'm sure that they're the biggest vegetable farmers in Lagos State.
Yes.
The impact those vegetables have in the state of Lagos can never be emphasized.
Yes.
So more reason why presidential order has been given, and I think that takes precedence over skirmishes or claim of land, because the first urgency of now is to ensure that there is food security.
I don't know. I'm a bit still. I can't wrap this thing around my head, because I feel like it might jeopardize the territorial integrity of our army base, and maybe herders coming in and out, trucks coming in to come and collect produce. I mean, when you think of the Nigerian army, you think of a secluded group of people who are there to protect the nation. So when they start getting involved in stuff like farming, I'm like, it totally, for me, waters down the office of a Nigerian soldier. So I can't see it. I still don't understand it. Are they going to be are the officers going to be the farmers? Are they going to engage farmers? It's not very clear. And as a Nigerian, sometimes I feel, I know that the president is trying to have new ideas, but has this been properly thought through to be sure that it doesn't jeopardize our own territorial integrity? Also, people are coming in to come and fight our country, and then our soldiers are busy in the farming. I don't get that.
Busy defending the young.
So the best form of security is food security. Once there's food security also endangers, food security also promotes gainful employment. When your people are happy, they're farming, they have food on their table, and they have a source of livelihood to depend on, the likelihood that they will join perpetrators of evil is a bit reduced. And Nigeria is not the only country that allows its armed forces going to farming. I can count a lot of countries who have benefited from it. Now, anything that the armed forces venture upon, any type of trade, businesses, there's discipline, and they give their all, particularly when there is a presidential directive that underpins these assignments. So I believe that's why I said they will go into collaboration arrangements. The locals will get involved. Like one of you said that in the Ojo barracks, the wives of the soldiers were full participants. I foresee a situation where, particularly in the northern states, the small-scale farmers would also be incorporated into this. So it's not just going to be army farming. It's going to be an all-society approach arrangement. All hands will be on deck to ensure that food is grown on the vast lands. So what would you do with the vast lands that the military have, right? Would you leave it fallow, or would you take the very, very positive initiative that Mr. President has put on the table, that they should engage all their farms to productive use? I think it's a step in the right direction. I think we should be positive about this. I think if it works, if all society approach, if we all put and believe it will work, and we see a good, we profile advice.
Let me go on.
As well. I think. Okay.
Let me go on a very short break. We'll continue with you when we come back. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still having the conversation with Honourable Jimmy Benson in the studio.
Yes.
Nima had a question for you.
Yes, sir. Honourable, please.
Yes.
Morale's question, I don't think you got it well. Just using the Ojo example again, we have some of the women coming in from outside town into the barracks to farm, and the money they take their produce to the Igbo market, whichever market their buyers are, and they sell. don't you think that, invades or relaxes the security within the barracks, especially up north? If you were to use that example up north and you have strangers, anybody can come into the barracks under the guise of famine.
Yes.
And,
Even insurgents, even these the insurgents, the terrorists can come in through and say they are farmers.
Exactly.
So this can wait also.
So what are we doing in that area to
weaken our
secure
security.
the barracks?
There's don't forget that the military and logistics experts, right? Once this framework is put in place, it's a lot of planning is going into it. Once farms are identified, the protective arrangement and strategies will be put in place to protect people that are coming to farm. Listen, we have to think out of the box here, right? We have to do things in a very unusual way. We should also commend Mr. President for initiating this. Don't also forget that the First Lady has also started a green revolution. She started farming in her backyard. So let's use the media and press to grow this. Let's make it positive in the minds of people. I'll give you an example. In America, right, you have 3.6 producers, farmers, right? 11% of them are either veterans, military veterans, or active duty member. So it is something that can ignite a revolution. Let us be positive about this. The administration has put in a think tank with the military and the ministry. We're all going to sit down on Monday, have a very decent conversation. Everything you've spoken about will be trashed out, and we will find a workable solution that will take people back to farm and make Nigeria great again with food security.
Yes. Honorable, we just took that American statistics out of my mouth. I was going to start with that. And I also understand that not every soldier is a combatant soldier. They have different departments where they function in. And if we decide to add farming and agriculture to one of their functions, I think it's not a bad idea. I'm just, curious to understand, if we have experts on ground who would give solutions to some of these ideas we are raising, because, we must find a way to tighten the loopholes so that we do not start this and at the end of the day we are realizing these kidnappers are coming in,
TBC,
terrorists are coming in.
Let me give you an assignment. I'd like you to visit, you're in Lagos, I'd like you to visit NAFRIC, Nigeria Armed Forces Resettlement Center. You'll be amazed at what is going on in that little place in Oshodi. It is a place where they wind down service people who want to retire. So they give them like training on going into the real world. If you go there, they have ranching, they have hydroponics, they have fish ponds, they have everything.
Wow.
So that small scale structure
Already.
Right? It is what we want to expand into Nigeria. And like I said, General Burutai set up the Nigerian Army farms and ranches in 2018, right about that. They already have ranches, they already have farms all over Nigeria. So it is just for us to double down based on the presidential directive, help them get more resource, link them up with the Ministry of Agriculture, and ensure that this good initiative is nurtured to a logical end that will benefit the greatest good in Nigeria.
Yes, because, Honorable, we already took it out of my mouth because I wanted to talk about the cattle rearing, wanting to know if it was part of it, because we noticed that part of the problems here we're having in Nigeria is getting enough land for ranchers, to start the ranching type of cattle rearing. So it's a good thing.
Like I said, I want you to please visit NAFRIC. They have a ranch there in Lagos.
Okay. Research.
You will see how fat the cattle are. Okay. You'll be amazed that in this small environment, this is going on here. Yes, the governor of Lagos State graciously visited the place and graciously granted them maybe about 100 hectares of land to come and farm. That is an example of how we can escalate these little good things they're doing in Isolo, in Lagos.
Right.
In Lagos.
Yes.
Right? So imagine if we populate this all over the available land they have. I've seen it. That's why I'm also very passionate about it. I've seen what is going on in Africa. I've seen what is going on in Plateau. They have a ranch in Plateau. I've seen what is going on in Kefi, in Nasarawa. I've seen what is going on in Abuja here. They're doing very, very, very well, and they need to be encouraged.
Fantastic. Okay.
Okay, so this is truly commendable, but this is not the first time. What we've seen in the past is that the farmers work with their hands and in a self-subsistence way help themselves. Is there any plan to, to bring machines in and mechanize this kind of farming that we're proposing now so that they also have access to,
I also think we need to read Mr. President's pronouncement very well. Apart from that, they're ordering 2,000 tractors, fertilizer,
okay.
a lot of things. So this backward integration is real. Everything they're going to be doing is going to be underpinned by Mr. President's laudable pronouncement. So duty-free on some farm implements that they're bringing in. So everything will be mechanized, and we're going to link them up for them to enjoy maximum benefits from the laudable importation that Mr. President will be doing. We're going to link them up with the Ministry of Agri. So it's going to be a value chain that will add value to everybody.
All right, let's talk about local government autonomy for a moment, because I remember that you also alluded to this. So military aside, how can we begin to engage local governments across the nation, 774 of them, on agriculture? What can they begin to do, or what is your office doing to see how citizens can begin to demand service, proper service from their local government chairman, as we now begin to see they'll be collecting money directly from FAC?
So all society approach to security, yes, it's inevitable, right? So for you to get the citizens together to ensure that they all protect their surroundings, you have to give them service, right? Service also means money. There are a lot of spaces in Nigeria that are ungoverned, so the military tells us that at times they go to places, right? By the time they secure the places, the people become nonchalant because they don't have a functional local government chairman or local government authority that can engage those youths with gainful employment or literally two things for them to do. And they're also saying that the devil finds work for the idle, right? So what this revolution that Mr. President has fostered will do is that everybody now knows that money comes into the local government, and the key functions of local government chairman are residuary. That is, they need to fix roads, build schools, build healthcare centers, little things like that mean a whole lot to an ecosystem in a little place, right? So I believe that when the local government chairman get enough funding and the people are aware that huge amounts is coming to the coffers of the local government, they will begin to demand for service. And the saying that the people in government, the people outside of government are greater than the people in government. So those people outside of the government, the population, would also be very, very eager to ensure and to monitor that X amount is coming. Local government chairman, how are you going to be accountable with this money? And we also have to remind local government chairmen that they are not as invincible as the governors are because they don't have any immunity. So there's a corresponding responsibility that should be demanded from the populace that account for this money that you receive. So I think it's a self-accounting strategy, and that is popular, and that will make insecurity go down. If you ask any of the service chiefs, anytime they come to us, what they always ask for is autonomy, that you cannot use security to kill poverty, that the local government administrators need to step into the space and ensure that they gainfully employ women, men, the service, that the area is service. So when there's a service going on, there are opportunities to gainfully employ people.